Hello, welcome to Relish Lifestyle, episode 10 of our first series. And it finally feels like spring has actually sprung.
I know, we've had a bit of sunshine. Though it is a bit cooler again today.
Yeah, but there's definitely colour in like flowers and trees and
daffodils.
Well, we went up to Westy, didn't we, on Sunday?
Yeah.
And it definitely felt like spring had sprung there.
Yeah.
There was all sorts growing.
I know.
Not that I'm very good at knowing what they're called.
No. You know what it really is for me, Charlie? It's in the morning, and I was awake about 5:30 this morning, and it is starting to get like, I can hear little birds.
Yeah.
The little birds, which is really sweet, they just start really early, and you just know, and that is such a good sign of spring.
Or whatever they're doing.
Yeah, getting ready for it. Now, Charlie.
Oh my.
I know, look at this. Ta-da!
She's just brought in a very large tray of different pots, put it on the table.
So, look, we had fun, didn't we, when we did the mince pie tasting?
Yes, we did.
And I just thought it would be fun to do another tasting. So I've kept this a bit of a secret.
Yeah.
But actually, as you can see, you've got 6 pots. No, you haven't. You've actually got 7 pots of hummus.
Hummus.
Okay.
Wow.
And as
Not
you're
a
a great taste award judge, I thought it would be fun if we did a bit of blind tasting.
Get me going.
I'm going to sort of
already.
have a little taste as well. But if you taste them and then you rank them and we can like go
Do you want me
from
to
there.
do it how I might?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then we can go back. So if you start with that
number
one there,
one.
and there's little crackers if you want.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go in with a teaspoon now, I think.
Okay.
Just to... Quite pale. Cool. Quite a hit of garlic, I would have said. But it's because maybe it's the first one I've had. Nice, smooth. There's a bit of texture there. I'm not getting a huge amount of lemon, but it's pleasant. It's a pleasant hummus. I like it.
Okay.
Overall, it's... Did it taste garlicky to you, or was it me?
I think there is a bit of garlic.
Yeah.
I do get a bit of acidity.
Yeah.
But you're right, it's very
I don't know if it's...
Okay, this one.
So this looks a bit more chunky. Oily. Nice though. There's extra virgin in that. Definitely taste that. That's nice and well seasoned. There's a bit of salt in that you can get, and the cumin's nice on that one. Lovely.
Okay.
So that's number 2.
Right.
Take a spoon. Right, so I'm going in for this one now.
Yeah.
Similar texture to the first one, I would say.
Okay.
Oh, no. Take that back. Actually. Slightly more texture.
Oh, I've got to try that. It does look a bit more texture, actually.
Chunkier. I'd say that tastes more of chickpea than the first one.
Okay.
There's definitely more of an earthiness to it.
I think it's quite interesting why you are tasting these, but when you read like in Ottolenghi, one of his books, he actually writes about the hummus wars, and he says that hummus is such a major thing right across like the Middle East and everything, and North Africa, but they
Greece.
all have, and Greece, of course, but so many of them got their own take.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's like in things in like Italy,
Well,
their own take on.
I think it's like we said before, nothing's original.
No, exactly. This one looks really smooth, this one.
This is incredibly smooth. That's obviously got pine nuts on it. And you can definitely get the pine nut flavour. I don't know if they've actually pureed pine nut into the actual dip itself rather than just on top.
So we got one with cumin seeds, one with pine nut.
This one's got pine nuts on it with a bit of oil drizzled. And it's very smooth.
Do you think...
It almost feels slightly artificially smooth for me, but...
But some of them are. Do you think that's got... Can you taste tahini in that?
Yeah.
Can you taste tahini in any of them? That's the other thing.
Not massive amount.
No.
I have to be honest, but I with my kind of boring commercial food hat on, it's probably because tahini is probably one of the most expensive components of it.
Yeah.
So they won't put much in if they don't have to.
Oh, Charlie, just tell your story about your trip to the factory.
Oh yeah, so when I was quite green as a pea in my placement year for a big retailer, and as part of my degree, and one of the trips we did was to a hummus supplier, and I've never seen the scale of chickpeas and of preparation of anything really until then. And it was sort of like, you know, the sort of skip bags you can get instead of...
Oh, yeah.
That's how much the chickpeas were coming in those, and there were warehouses full
Wow.
of them, floor to ceiling. So billions of chickpeas, trillions probably. And then people sort of frying on an industrial scale. And the only way I can describe it is it's almost like 3 or 4 dining table length. And I guess you would call it kind of a skillet, but it was huge. And they were frying the onions, and that was for the topping.
Oh, for that with the caramelised onion one.
But it was incredible. So,
Wow.
yeah. So, anyway, this is number 5, is it?
And the other interesting thing is, sorry, but I remember you saying that it wasn't just for one supplier, was it?
No. But like lots of factories, and I've even worked for some of those sort of companies, that you don't have one factory for one retailer. It's very unusual now for that to happen. So, that's number 5. It's an interesting, got an odd flavour.
Oh, let's try that.
Almost slightly fishy.
Fishy.
Do you see what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't say that was massively pleasant.
No.
No.
No, but...
I don't know, I haven't scored these all for you, but...
No, okay.
Maybe we'll rank them at the end.
Yeah, no, yeah, sure. And then we can have a look and actually say who they are.
So the next one is definitely a darker. I'm assuming it might be slightly flavoured. I don't know. I'm assuming that.
No.
Okay.
I've had a little lunch.
What's quite interesting, this is in what I would call more of a serving bowl.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh. So that you can tell us.
Got tahini in it.
Well, no, I would say it's extra virgin olive oil.
But I think you can also taste the tahini.
Yeah. But that I would say is overwhelmingly that green olive oil taste that you get from extra virgin.
Yeah. I quite like it.
Yeah, I do. I don't know for me if that is quite like, I mean, I'm eating these without anything, I guess, but that's quite I'm not sure how much I could eat.
No, okay, fair enough.
That's all I'm going to say. And I would say it was the same for this very pureed one. I feel like it's almost...
Rich.
Yeah, but it's almost like a mousse. I can't explain that.
But it is really interesting that when you see recipes that use hummus, yes, this is quite often you use it and you've got your pita breads, but actually it's quite often served with something else.
Yeah.
So there's lots of recipes with hummus hummus is the base.
Yeah.
And then you, as you say, you might put fried onions. I've done one with fried
I've had
lamb.
Lamb.
And then you might have pickles or something on it.
So this one is in, the only way I can describe this is more like an ice cream tub of...
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah. And it's got a slight green tinge, so I'm assuming this is, again, a flavoured one. Oh. Oh, yeah, that's got like chili pepper edge to it. Quite mild, though.
Quite nice texture.
Quite like that one. That's a lot of hummus, though.
Oh, it's a huge amount of hummus. So the one
500 gram tub. And it is a tub.
Yeah.
It's not a pot. That's a lot of hummus.
So,
oh, no.
Right, I would like
This is like the ranking of the mince pies.
Or, I mean, I don't know. Do you want to do it out of 5? What do you want to do?
Yeah. I've got to sort of slightly remind myself now. Gosh.
Okay, so that one. We'll just go back, So the first one you said was smooth, but you could taste the garlic.
Yeah, I see that's quite garlicky. I don't dislike that. I think that's maybe like a 3.5.
Okay, first one. So we're going to reveal
who they are.
What they are. I think we do it as we go. No,
do it.
Okay, at the end.
So I like this one. I like the texture on it. I say that's sort of maybe a 3.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe a 4. And then this was this number 3? Yeah. So I quite like that one, but it's quite lemony.
Okay.
Compared to the others. Then we've got this sort of ultra whipped one. I like it. I think it's very rich with the pine nuts.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on there.
So what do you think? What do you think that one?
Oh, sorry. Number 3. I'm going to give that a 4.
Okay.
I quite like it.
And then the very smooth one.
I'm not sure.
No, you don't really like that.
3?
2?
Yeah, maybe a 2. Yeah.
Yeah, you're screwing your face up. He's screwing his face up.
2.5, maybe. Well, I just don't like it.
No, that's fair enough.
But I can see others might.
Now, this one you weren't sure of.
No, I think it's got a very funky
Yeah,
flavour.
I don't think it's great.
I think that's sort of a one.
Yeah.
I like this one with the extra virgin olive oil. Again, I'm not sure how much I'd eat, but I think I can see why this would be popular.
Yeah, I think that's quite nice.
Maybe a 4.
Yeah.
And I think actually, is it jalapeno? We work that.
Yeah, it's jalapeno in this big one.
I think just because it's almost the jalapeno cuts through the richness.
Yeah.
And I quite like that.
Yeah.
I'd say like a 4.5.
Okay, so you're just going to have a quick look, and for everyone, so the first one that you gave 3.5, you said it was very smooth. Now that is actually M&S classic hummus.
Oh, okay.
And they do say it's chickpeas with tahini, garlic. It has got garlic in it and lemon. Okay,
definitely garlicky. That
the second one that was chunky with cumin seeds on is actually homemade.
Oh, well done.
Well, I'm going. The only thing is, Charlie, it did come up a little bit looser than I thought, but it's chunky. In terms of, I think I added a little bit too much liquid, but I've made this before, and you can make it thicker. And the idea is that you do get chunks of chickpea. But obviously, I could have had garlic. I didn't. But the cumin seeds are quite nice.
What I do like about that, I was going to say the cumin, because again, it cuts through that richness for me.
Yeah, but I mean, very simply.
But like I like it.
I mean, literally, that was
Sturdy.
a tin of chickpeas, some of it's water, salt, lemon juice, a few tablespoons of tahini, and some toasted cumin seeds on the top. Yeah. So then let's just go to this one. Which you gave a 4 to. You quite liked this one, the texture and the flavour and everything. Well, this actually is Stanford Street, which you can buy in Sainsbury's.
That's their a kind of basic.
Yeah, so that's quite interesting that you chose that one. And
I quite liked it for the texture. I would say for me, it's just a classic.
They did say they got tahini in it. For some reason, they've added corn flour though. Yeah. Salt, a bit of garlic, and of course it's got a few things like preservatives and all that sort of stuff. I know. And they've used rapeseed oil.
Oh, not olive oil.
Not olive oil.
Well, that will be, again, because it's cost.
Yeah. So this one that you liked, which was very smooth, is actually one called Sabra.
Oh, yeah.
And
that's the brand.
It's the brand, yeah, and it's part of their meze range. Right. And it's called Houmous Extra. And I'm going to have to look at it upside down.
Gosh.
I don't know if I can actually see.
Careful, we might have oil going everywhere.
Oh, yeah, okay. Can't quite see.
It's super smooth. I mean, I think as an eat, it's just quite rich for me.
Yeah.
They've got rapeseed oil in this one as well.
Yeah, interesting. Maybe like you said, they're cutting back.
It says pine nuts in olive oil. But actually the
hummus,
the rapeseed oil is higher up the ingredients deck than olive oil, which means it's a larger ingredient.
Yeah,
so,
which I don't think when you a true hummus doesn't have. So this one we didn't like at all.
No.
And actually, this was Sainsbury's classic hummus.
Oh.
So we didn't really like that.
Oh, dear.
No.
So that's interesting. So I preferred the cheaper one.
Yeah, and yet
is it the same?
Their ingredients are virtually the same. But for some reason, one's been whipped and looked a bit better. And they do definitely taste different. So, so there we go, everybody. They do taste different, but we preferred the Stamford Street rather than the...
Which is interesting,
yeah.
But...
Okay, so moving on then. Then we had this one.
Oh, yeah, that was the very olive oily one.
Actually, it's slightly richer in colour as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
And actually, this is Waitrose. It's a new one. They're number 1.
Oh, yeah.
And it is, Charlie, you're absolutely right. Well tasted extra virgin olive oil. It is extra virgin olive oil. Quite a lot, actually. 24%.
That's a lot.
And they've actually got 13% tahini. Okay. So your point about... and then it is literally just salt, lemon juice and garlic. So
how much tahini?
13%.
So that Sainsbury's one we didn't like has 13. Just looking quickly across these. Yeah, it's quite interesting.
Actually, we should look at. I was thinking about the total of chickpeas.
Yeah, because the M&S one has...
Stamford Street's got 49%, and apparently the Waitrose one's got 42%.
Well, this M&S one only has 39% chickpea, so it's less than the Stamford Street, but it has 13% tahini. Anyway.
And the one we really didn't like, it had even more chickpeas, 52%.
Maybe it was, yeah.
So anyway, interesting. Okay, and then we go into the last one that's in the ice cream tub.
We've scored all those.
Oh yeah, we did score them. So that one you gave 4. Now this one you really like, but it was the one that was probably the most flavoured. And this is a new brand I've seen, that I spotted rather, and it's called Ramona's Heavenly Houmous.
But
made with love and chickpeas. And let's just see what they say. It's by a woman who grew up in the Mediterranean. An authentic range for sharing reflects my heritage, made from humble ingredients. So, interestingly enough, 62% chickpeas.
Yeah. I think it comes across.
Rapeseed oil. There was tahini, jalapenos. There is things like a little bit of spirit vinegar.
Oh, yeah. That might be for the chili, though.
There is some modified maize stock in there.
Yeah, the corn flour.
Yeah, and they do. She does have some potassium sorbate, but I think maybe some of them. I thought you're supposed to list it all, but I think again these are preservatives, and you probably find them in a lot of things.
Well, the thing is, it's a bit like anything. The minute you dip even a spoon into it,
yeah, exactly,
you have to have some barrier, otherwise it'll go off straight away.
But the interesting thing is, you're right. Why this comes in a 500 tub?
That's a lot to eat.
It is a lot to eat.
I mean, if you were doing one of those recipes that, it's like a platter, I could get it maybe. But 500 grams is a lot of...
Yeah.
A lot. I mean, all these say 200.
And
200.
also from a commercial point of view...
170.
Don't you want people to rebuy?
Well, yeah.
Anyway.
Also, I'm not sure... On a shelf, if all your competitors look like this, and then you're plonked there...
Don't know, but are you standout?
Maybe.
Because I think that is quite good.
We're talking about the Waitrose one, which is flat. It's like a flat dish rather than a pot.
Yeah.
And I guess actually you could just serve that as it is.
Yeah, you could. Whereas the others, I do feel you want to decant.
Yeah, because they look. Yeah.
Anyway, there we go.
Anyway,
so we started.
Yeah, I like that.
A little bit of hummus tasting. So
we are going to try.
Interestingly, though, that one.
I like the jalapeno.
Yeah, I do too. So again, just to remind everyone, that's called Ramona's Heavenly Houmous.
Yeah.
So our two winning ones.
But quite a good spectrum of prices and brands.
Yeah, and in all fairness, I didn't necessarily mean to buy this one that was flavoured, but that was the only one.
Yeah,
but I really thought it'd be interesting to try that brand.
I think it's good to put them all together.
Yeah.
Well.
Okay, there we go. Right.
We will try and do some more taste
Yes,
testing.
we will. And anyone listening, if you've got any comments or, you've got some favourites, let us know. Or you'd like us to test.
Definitely.
Taste test something.
100%.
Okay, so, we've got Mother's Day coming up.
End of the month. Date in my diary.
And also, I was thinking about, it's spring and cooking and cakes, and you're obviously, darling, you're so good. Always making me a cake or something.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's coming out of the gloom and you kind of just feel a bit like everyone just feels a bit more motivated. And I think you feel motivated to get in the kitchen. And I definitely have sort of been inspired by a couple of things I've seen this week. One is sort of this baking, sort of Balkan baking, is the only way I can describe it. And it comes from a variety of sources, but one is a magazine and one is obviously my Greek cookbook that I got for Christmas. And it's very much just an interesting way of baking. It's not traditional, like we're obviously written traditionally as sponge cakes as such.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas obviously theirs is much more like an enriched dough style bake. And even the cakes, or what we might describe as something sweet, use what I would call more of like a bread dough rather than a sponge, if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah.
So like a babka, for example. It's a sweet cake. It's actually a sweet bread, but I don't know, it's a difficult one to explain, but it's obviously a sweet pudding, have with a cup of tea type thing, but it's not a sponge. It's very much an enriched bread dough. The dough's got egg and all that kind of stuff in it. So I might be tempted to make one of those.
Oh, spoiler alert. You have made some delicious things.
But and also the other thing that's quite nice with that is obviously you do the dark chocolate and the nuts and things in it, and it's a nice thing to eat.
I was also looking at well, looking back, I mean, we've had some great Mother's Day. I mean, literally, I think one year you cooked a roast and everything, and it was in obviously March, and we sat outside. It was boiling.
It was so hot. Yeah, it was. I remember doing it and feeling quite warm in the kitchen. And then we all laid the table outside.
I know.
It was nice.
And then 2 years ago, we
did
were
our
in Portugal.
our
And we,
Porto.
I can't believe it. You treated me and you'd organised. So literally on Mother's Day, we left Porto, didn't we?
On the train.
And we got a train and we drove up. Sorry, we didn't drive to
Travels.
But we travelled on the train for 3.5 hours all the way down to Lisbon. And it's the most fantastic drive. And we were so lucky because it was sunny and you get beautiful views and you stop off at some great places. And then we spent some time
in Alcobates.
Yeah, in Alcobates, which is in a national park. It was just fantastic.
I think
that was a very spoiled Mother's Day,
but it was
week.
It was a lovely. It's a lovely way to travel in that country. I think they're very lucky. I mean, I know obviously it's very easy to bemoan what we've got, so we won't get into all that. But to travel from sort of Porto to Lisbon by train. And we've done the other way. Well, I've done the other way as well, Lisbon to Faro. It is a lovely way to see that country because it isn't very big.
Yeah.
It's long-ish, but it's not very wide.
I think there's some amazing train journeys. I've been reading, in your travel magazine, there are some great journeys of the world.
What about that one we've done actually several times, which is the one from Nice to Monaco?
Oh,
and
yeah.
You skirt round.
Oh, the coast. That's great.
I mean, they voted that one of the most pretty train journeys in the world.
I know, and it's not very long. You're not there very long.
But it's also not very expensive.
No, it's just it's a commute ride.
Yeah.
For so many people.
But I love
a tourist ride.
Not really. It only is if you want to go from Nice to thingy. But it's I do think it's a nice way to travel when you're on holiday. I think because you're not commuting. As in, if it was here, you'd be it's drudgery. And you're doing it every day. But I think if you are on holiday and you get the opportunity, it's worth doing.
Now, just going back to cakes and treats for Mother's Day. Now, I'm very lucky that I've got such a glorious, gorgeous son. But some of the ones I also remember, I mean, I do, not that I eat cake very often at all, but I do like a good, fresh Victoria sponge.
Yeah.
That is absolutely lovely. And which you have cooked a number of times. And the other one is you've cooked I don't know if it was a polenta cake, but it's a cake that doesn't really have a lot of flour in it. And then you soak lemon syrup or something in it.
I think
they're delicious too.
I think it is a polenta cake. I've done a polenta cake. I think I've done ground almonds as
well.
Oh,
yeah.
And then you soak it with sort of like an orange syrup.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely delicious.
I think you've done a lemony one as well, which is really nice. I like those kind of ones.
So they're nice.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. See what happens.
So have you got any other tips?
TBC.
Any tips for people who might bake a little treat for their mama?
I guess. I don't know. I guess it's what, obviously make sure your mother likes it. Don't bake anything she doesn't. But I think it's worth experimenting with maybe some flavours like I've done more recently, like things like, I know you're not a huge chocolate fan, but you don't mind dark chocolate.
No, I don't.
But actually, if you add a bit of cardamom or something,
oh yeah,
I think it can add a real different dimension. And actually, someone that doesn't like chocolate would probably like. Do you know what I mean? Experiment a bit. I also think there's just a lot out there now you don't have to do a traditional, sponge. You can do your ground almonds. You can do things with polenta. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff out there that's now vegan. But the way that's interesting with some of the stuff in those cookbooks, Portugal and Greece, it's the amount of egg they use. So sometimes I've done that one. Do you remember that cake I did? It's like a burnt Basque cheesecake, but it's a highly whipped Portuguese one.
Yes.
I've forgotten what it's called, which is terrible. But I did it a while ago. That might have been a Mother's Day during lockdown, actually, or something we did.
Yeah, that's amazing, that one.
But it's only got 6 or 7 eggs, but it's all the egg whites. And then you whip it in a stand mix for half an hour. I mean, it's intense.
What, all the eggs together? Do you have to put the
No, I think it's the whites.
Separately?
I need to check. It's something like 6 eggs and 6 egg whites and only 1 normal egg. But you highly whip it. I need to check that. But it's a wonderful recipe. That's a Nuno Mendes recipe from his book, Lisboeta, from memory. But Yeah, you whisk it for half an hour. But that's lovely. It's because it's, again, I guess it's like not what I was saying earlier. It's not a traditional sponge.
No.
You've used something else to give you that like levity.
Yeah. But I think mummies don't mind what they get.
No.
It's nice to have a mummy's day because it's kind of like, you know, when you were young, Charlie, it was lovely. You know, I've got a lovely stitched, as you know, which I kept, like a little thing that we did at school, which you stitched, you know.
Which we worked out was 30 years old. 1995.
I know. But, you know, I think it doesn't matter how old you are, if you're young or older, but mum's like that little tree. Even if it's a little bunch of flowers, hand-picked or something.
Yeah, I just think there's other things. I mean, I know obviously this is all, well, it's all mainly about food, but I do think food is a nice way of showing,
yeah, totally,
you know, on a special day like that, how much you care.
Yeah. So just on that, I was thinking about this the other day. Has your taste buds, do you think, changed over the last few weeks? Because I was thinking, you know, you don't actually consciously think about it.
What, because of the weather? Or?
Yeah. You know, the sun comes out. And I'm not saying I immediately run to a lettuce, but, you know what I mean?
No, that might be a bit odd.
But do you think it kind of sort of, do you find that or not?
Yeah, I guess the only way I can liken it to is like when you're on holiday. So when you go on a holiday, you don't get somewhere warm and go, oh, I really want a beef casserole.
No, that's true.
Do you know what I mean?
No, it hasn't been that warm, but you just seem
No, but like,
fun.
I just think there's that element that you're somewhere sunny and you kind of think, well, actually, I don't fancy something. I think sometimes it's about heavy, like, I do think that the weather sort of drags you down physically and mentally, and you kind of want something comforting and restoring and stodgy because it's sort of homely and...
Or maybe spicy, warming.
Yeah, that's what all those things. But as you sort of get out and you've got the sun and everything, you're a bit warmer and flowers, everything all, you know, blooming, I think you just feel a bit more kind of optimistic and think, well, actually, I don't know. I don't feel like I need some sort of heavy meal.
But also I was wondering if, like in the winter when so many of us are struggling a bit with colds or sniffles, you know, that our taste buds are actually affected.
Yeah.
Whereas, I don't know, when maybe your head clears a bit and you're right and the air's a bit clearer, that it's not, and I'm not talking about the heat so much, I get that, but suddenly I do think about food in a slightly different way, and I'm sort of looking in the fridge thinking, oh, what do I want? You know, maybe like a grilled meat or fish rather than something in a sauce. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm just being a bit
I guess
random,
as the seasons change, it's kind of natural, isn't it? I don't know. And and maybe surreptitiously, when we're not aware of it, you know, supermarkets and shops are putting things that are seasonal at the front. We might not be aware of that.
Yeah.
But it's sort of starting to happen.
But I guess you've still got all your root veg and things, which is great. And I'm
glad. I'll tell you one thing I'm very glad about is that Brussels sprouts are now something you can buy throughout the whole winter. No, because it used to be literally just for Christmas.
Oh, yeah, no, I like Brussels sprouts.
And I love them.
We have
and
them.
I'm happy to have
them.
them.
We have them with most of our roasts, don't we?
I think they're... Anyway, it's just one of these things that I've just... over the last few years, it's kind of happened. I don't know if that's like a conscious thing.
Well, I think maybe they can grow them, the growing season's longer.
Yeah.
Like with so many of these things.
I know it's a controversial vegetable.
No, but also I think our root vegetables and vegetables like that get a bit of a short shrift, and actually they are like swedes, turnips, all that kind of stuff. And yet, actually, there's so much you can do with them. I mean, God, there's some great recipes where you literally you can roast slices of swede. I've done one of these, but you've actually coated it in a nice spicy mixture. You roast it and you serve it with a watercress and grapefruit salad. I mean, it's delicious.
Yeah. So that is. So yeah, no, I love that kind of stuff, and I think Brussels sprouts are versatile. But again, I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. So.
Now we talked about this, but I thought it'd be quite nice to talk about something that we've cooked in the week. Perhaps say it could be one of our recipes, or just something that we've done that's different.
I've forgotten what you said. Was it fish you did?
Yeah. So it was kind of a hybrid. You know, I'm always you find something you quite like, and then you haven't always got all the exact ingredients. So you just, you know, that's what recipes are about, really. Just a guideline, aren't they? But yeah, so I found this recipe, and actually I would like to say that I think the M&S app for recipes is now better than the Waitrose app. I'm going to be controversial. Since they've changed that, it's not as good. But anyway, So I did this recipe and it was very simple. So it was just a piece of haddock and you just dust that with flour because I wanted something with a bit of crunch.
Yeah.
But you know, when you're doing, even if it's breadcrumbs or you're battering everything, you have to do the flour, the egg, and then whatever the topping is. Or you've got to make a batter and then it's deep fried.
And then your kitchen gets like...
Yeah, and also I'm thinking, I don't want to deep fry something. I didn't want to fry something.
Nigella calls them goujon fingers. So when you're dipping and your fingers get gradually more and more gumped up, they look like goujons.
Well, I think the trick is you just try and use one hand.
Well, yeah, but it's
really hard.
It's very hard.
Anyway, so this is a little recipe that I think is great. You could use... As I say, I was using a bit of haddock, and mine had skin on, which I quite like. I don't think they should all not have skin on.
No, I think that's quite...
but you could use it with... You could do this with any fish. But basically, you did dust the fish in a little bit of flour, seasoned flour. And another tip I was going to say is occasionally I use chickpea flour.
Oh, yeah.
It's quite nice. Anyway...
But sometimes you use corn flour.
Yeah, you can use
because it's a finer flour.
And I think it's like chickpea flour. And you pan fried the fish just in a little bit of oil, okay? Just for a few minutes either side. But prior to that, to get the crispy bit, you take some breadcrumbs, either make your own breadcrumbs, and I put them on a baking tray. The recipe said you had to fry them, but I didn't. Put them on a baking tray. I put a knob of butter on the baking tray, popped it in the oven. When that was hot, I poured the breadcrumbs on it, mixed them all round so they kind of got coated. Yeah. Salt and pepper. I added a little bit of zest of lemon.
Nice.
And I added some dill.
Oh, yeah, yummy.
But you could add anything. Yeah, and you could add it then.
That's a good combo with fish.
Or you could add the herb at a later date. But anyway, but the lemon,
so that was your crumb.
The lemon. But then you put it in the oven.
Yeah.
And you bake it until your crumb is crisp.
Yeah. And then you...
Yeah, and then you could then add a bit more herb or add your herbs. And then what you did is as your fish was cooked, I put mine on a bed of watercress or whatever. Yeah. You could have a little bit of mayonnaise with some like gherkin or capers in it. But you sprinkled the breadcrumb over the top.
Yeah, yummy.
And I thought...
So you got texture and crunch.
Yeah, you've got the crisp. You've got the softness of the fish. There wasn't all the faff.
No.
And it was really nice, Charlie. Yeah. That's my recipe this week.
Yeah. Well, mine actually is not dissimilar, but it was using a pork chop.
Oh, yeah.
And I had 2 thick pork chops. I have to say I didn't do both of them, or did I? Can't remember. Anyway, I was watching a programme, and it was a Rick Stein, and he goes from Venice to Istanbul. And he stops somewhere, I cannot remember where, but he's cooking in Greece somewhere. As in, he's got this big house, obviously, by the sea, as you do. And he's cooking these recipes. Anyway, he does these pork chops, but he coats them, I think, in walnuts. It's definitely, or almonds, I can't remember. Toasted. And then you fry them.
Wow.
So they've got this sort of layer of...
Has he ground the walnuts?
No, they're quite chunky.
Oh, how do they stick to
this is why. This is my only. That was my concern, but it kind of set the sort of ball rolling because I suddenly thought, oh, I've got pork chops in the fridge, so I used dukkha.
Oh yeah.
So I rubbed that onto, I pressed it in.
Yeah.
And then I did what you did. I put a tiny bit of butter and oil in a frying pan. I fried them either side, and it does sort of stick. And then I just put them in the oven for like 3 or 4 minutes to cook through.
Yeah.
They're absolutely delicious, but of course it gives you the texture.
Yeah.
It was a really nice flavour, actually. I'd do it again, but it wasn't quite as involved as yours. My dukkha was pre-jarred, but it wasn't, but it's like, it was like an ottolenghi dukkha, so it had like other bits in it.
Yeah.
So what I was trying to do, and I think this is like our tip for everything we talk about, is nothing's original. And actually, if you're inspired by a recipe, you don't have to do the recipe.
No.
You modify it to whatever you've got in your fridge or whatever ingredients you've got in your store cupboard.
I know. And for me, I do occasionally, you're right, it is about the texture, but you don't want something deep fried or too oily. And you want simple, and that was really simple.
Yeah. No, it sounds delicious.
And also, I think going back to what we were chatting about last week, I do keep breadcrumbs in the freezer. If you've got a bit of old bread, if it's homemade or whatever, I say whiz it up into breadcrumbs, stick it
Well,
in the
otherwise
in
it's
the
going to just
freezer.
go green and.
But you can use it for so many things, and if you have got kids, you can make your own goujons.
Yeah, exactly that.
You know, I mean, it's such a
Well, it's
a
also
wheeze.
the other thing I've done with it is sort of like if you get like a chicken thigh and you kind of bash it a bit. You know,
Make like a scallop type.
Yeah, but that's good for like any
Or
time.
schnitzel.
Yeah, but you could have that with a salad, or you could have it as like a chicken burger. Like I've done all those sort of things. They're yummy, and it's really easy.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, do we want to? Any other bits happen this week?
Well, I wanted to talk about pastry. I don't know. I've been reading quite a lot about pastry. It seemed to be everywhere. There was I don't know if it's a time of year, but everyone was talking about pies.
Right.
And it just got me thinking, because pastry is one of those things that some people think it's a no-no, you know, it's really bad, really fattening. But I think a really good pastry, you're not going to eat something in pastry all the time, but a really good pastry is a treat, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. And I think the other thing I like about pastry is the usages.
Yeah.
So it's not... I think we're quite lucky, actually, in this country, where pastry is obviously actually probably more savoury to a certain extent, as in more stuff is savoury, maybe. I don't know. Is that wrong? But if you think traditionally, we do like a lot of pastry as pies, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Savoury. Whereas I don't know if we do as much...
Oh, what, in sweet things?
Well, if you think I'm thinking like traditionally.
Yeah, true, I suppose. Yeah. I think you think about quiches, because they've just got... that's not a pie, but it's pastry. So it's just got a bottom. And then I was thinking pie. Some people say a pie, you've got to have a pastry top and bottom. But a lot of pies have just got a top. And then I was thinking, you know, over the years, I don't make loads of pies, but I have made pies. And I'm thinking about the different pastries. So I just I'd made a list, okay? Right. So we won't go into depth about pastry. But I just had this thing because I found it.
We might have to do a pastry tasting.
Well, maybe we should actually. Or maybe we should cook some and then taste it. But, you know, for people that it's short crust pastry, and I know pastry, even for a lot of chefs, say just buy it, which I would agree, okay?
Yeah.
But a short crust pastry is pretty easy. And I have to say, I've got one that's a slightly enriched short crust pastry, and it's just great if you just want to have a small pie topping. And you basically grate cold butter into the flour. Okay, depending on what butter you use, add a little bit of salt or whatever. Or you can add other flavours, okay? You can grate cheese. But for this one, all you do is you grate your butter, it's quite a lot of butter, into flour, and then you have very, very cold water.
Yeah.
And you don't need a lot. You stir a little bit in, and you use your hands very quickly until it firms the dough. Stick it in the fridge, and I'm not kidding you. If you've got some leftover meat, or even if it's a pie from scratch, that makes the most delicious short crust rich pastry. It is a really good one. And it's like, I would just like to say to people, do have a go at suet pastry. You can get vegetable suet, and that's the same. It's literally a little bit of suet in some flour, and you add cold water. Really easy. Yeah, and then I was just thinking quickly, I'm just going to go through them. Then you've got your pâté sucré, which is a very nice short crust but richer tart case, really. And it's good for cold fillings like chocolate tarts and custards and stuff like that. Then, of course, you've got your puff pastry. And I was thinking, and that really, everyone buys that, okay? Yeah. But then you can make your
Can I just say, I have actually made puff pastry.
I know, it is quite
And it takes a long time, because you are doing the lamination. So you are doing folding, putting it in the fridge, half an hour, roll it back out, fold it again, back in the fridge. I mean, that is
pastry's a good fun thing to try. And I think when,
if you've got the time.
Yeah, and also when you're little, if you've got kids and you want to do something, like people make pizza dough, make some pastry.
And you can freeze pastry, that's the other thing.
It's great. Rough puff is a great one, and I remember learning that at school. Yeah, and I would say to everyone, have a go at it. You can't buy rough puff pastry, but you can make it. And
it's yummy.
It's the sort of slightly lesser flaky one than puff, but it's really cool. And then you've got a hot water crust pastry, which, as we know, you hot water. And then the phyllo. Now, I've never made phyllo because that is really difficult. So I'd say definitely that is one to buy.
Yeah, I would say phyllo is the one to buy. Well, actually, maybe we should...
Oh, we'll have a go at it.
There you go, it's Mother's Day sorted.
Oh no, this is what happens now when you were little. I gave you things like that to do. Now it's my turn.
Well, we could have a pastry off, we can see you can make it. But I think you do need I think you need a football pitch size kitchen to make phyllo. I've seen them made.
Yeah.
But just quickly on the phyllo, I think phyllo is delicious, and I think that is also a very versatile thing.
Because you can use it just by crinkling it on top of
you
things.
can crinkle it in, and they do like a scrunch pie. I can't remember what it's called, but like what we had so when we were in Thessaloniki, we had a bugazza, which is phyllo, and it's big sort of thin trays of a pie, and they would call it a pie, a bugazza. But it's very thin, but the filling can be sweet or savoury. I think this is my point about pastry, is actually there's a lot of, it's incredibly versatile. Obviously you can buy and make sweet pastry or dessert pastry, I think they call it now.
Yeah.
But obviously you can, even if you buy some short crust pastry and you need it to be sweet, just dust a bit of icing sugar on a teaspoon, and then you're done. Don't worry about it.
Well, it's like if you've got short crust pastry, you want to make it cheesy.
Oh yeah, just add a bit.
Just add your flavour in it.
It's fine.
Anyway, maybe we should do something on pastry. I don't know. I just saw all this stuff on pies and pastries, and I was like,
now we've said how difficult puff pastries, we should make some.
Yeah, we should actually.
And some phyllo.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll let you know how that goes. But I think
any favourite pie recipes? Any favourite pie recipes?
I know. Well, it's starting to get dark, so it's nearly drink o'clock. But yeah, I think what a wonderful kick-off with our houmous and everything we've talked about. So,
I will wait with bated breath what we're going to have on Mother's Day. And then, Charlie, then it's Easter.
I know.
Thinking about Easter.
I know. We're going to cook. Well, there's lots of, maybe that's a topic we can talk about that and see what feedback we get, what we should do at Easter.
I'm going to try and get some video of Charlie.
We should. Hopefully we'll be outside if it's warm enough or not wet. We might be able to do a barbecue. Anyway, on that note...
I know I was going to say, everyone can help, can go away, go taste some hummus.
Yeah,
decide what they like, or go practice some.
Let us know your pastry. Well, that wraps us up for our 10th episode.
Yeah, high five.
Right. Well, as always, keep relishing life.